your source for everything paranormal. Para-X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And welcome everybody to another Wednesday night. You know, it's almost like a weekly thing of The Calling. And Kimberly's with me. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Jerry. How are you?
Hi, Jerry. Good. Now, there's no Alan. Alan is doing a ceremony tonight, so he'll be knocking around his drum, and hopefully he doesn't get into a punk beat. That would not be good. And, hey, everybody in the chat room land, thank you for showing up. And I see the most beautiful Darlowski is with us, which is nice. So tonight, oh, by the way, before we go on, did you catch The Gathering last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my God. Well, it was kind of nice is that the original three were together.
Oh, yeah. I saw that Kristen was on there.
Kristen was on there, yep. And I so wanted them to say, The Gathering, The Gathering, The Gathering. But
they should have done it for you.
I sent the message, and I didn't want to put it out to everybody, so I just put the message out just to them, and nobody responded to it. And it's like, oh, come on, man, that'd be hilarious. It'd just be funny as everything. But one of the things they were talking about last night, they're talking about Christmassy type stuff and everything else, and Steph brought up one of the things she likes to serve is green Jello, and the others were like, no, but it's a different type of green Jello. It's green Jello and it's got Cool Whip in it and stuff like that. They were thinking the green Jello of the exorcism Jello.
What?
That's what they were. That's what they were calling it. It's a green Jello that actually has olives in it.
Ooh! No more.
Exorcism Jello. Yep, Dave's saying. And hey, Paranormal Writer. And it was. They put a picture on their Facebook. So if you get a chance, go take a look at it. That is just foul. It's I think I would eat the green Jello from the Vacation. With Chevy Chase and those guys. Do you remember that Christmas Vacation? Yeah, where the grandmother came and put cat food inside there and stuff like that. I'd rather eat that than the rest of it.
Yeah. I have had green Jello with fruit cocktail in it.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's what I always thought is normal. I've never thought about putting things like olives and broccoli. I'm just not a broccoli either. I think broccoli gives you gas.
Oh my gosh, that is Exorcist Jello. I can't believe broccoli. Really? Is it raw or cooked?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to have them make it for you and send it down, and you tell me what it's like.
Oh my gosh,
your guess will never come back again.
Right?
Is there now curiosity? Because I know that you do a lot of Latin food and stuff like that. What is your favorite thing?
For Christmas or
for Christmas holidays and stuff like that?
Oh, turkey.
Oh, just turkey?
I totally make turkey. We hardly ever do like tamales or any Hispanic food. Maybe for Christmas, because
Right.
that's the only thing we can unwrap. But bum. No, just kidding. But that's what they say, Anyways, but sometimes tamales. But other than that, we did the whole turkey thing. My mom's
Oh.
very American. Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta
I'll be
love-
darned.
I know.
Okay, I don't know why, but after all these years and stuff like that, I always thought that you did a dinner like that.
Yeah, well, most families that are from different cultures or whatnot will do totally different foods, but people are surprised when I say, oh, I'm making a turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes, and, they're surprised. So, yeah,
Just like I was right there. There, I learned something today.
But don't you guys have something don't you have like a special cookie or something? Because we have like those little powdered cookies, but they're kind of like a wedding cookie. It's about the same, but these are little powder cookies. And
See, that's funny. Just what you said. Okay, we're going to get a little bit off topic. We're talking.
I know we are talking about food here.
Well, no,
We must be
not that. When you were talking about the cookies and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
we actually had. I remember Steph used to make this really, really, really good potato cheesy type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her sister-in-law came up and said, "Oh, funeral potatoes." We
Oh,
only served
yeah.
that during a funeral, and I never seen that little Norsky get really upset as she did.
Really?
It's like, oh yeah, no, I mean, it was not good.
That's right.
It's-
Those cheesy potatoes, you see them at funerals. You're right. You're right about that.
well, no, you can also see it at different
Right.
holidays and stuff like that.
Right.
But
But they're I guess it's most common or something, because they always talk about funeral potatoes, and those are those cheesy potatoes. So, yeah.
I've never
I've heard
heard
of it.
that word. I've never heard of funeral potatoes before. Now that's got to be out west in Cali, right?
Mm,
Are you drinking vodka straight out of a
I
bottle?
am. I'm drinking,
She's drinking
vodka.
straight out of a bottle.
It's a 0. No, I've heard it more here, Jerry, to be truthful. To be
Wow,
yeah.
I've just never ever, I've never heard of that before. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, there you go. Kim drinks White Claws. Kim drinks White
Thanks,
Claws.
Jamie.
What's
Thanks,
white-
Jamie. She's telling on me.
What is White Claws?
It's just a drink that it has no sugar in it, and it's low carb, supposedly. So,
And it's mango flavored.
yeah, mango or cranberry. She's totally telling you what I drink. Yeah, she's also my
knows she's
bartender, too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She's the one that you complained about. Yeah, I remember that now. Snooky's asking, Kim, do you use the gizzards in your dressing?
Yes, I do. I
Oh,
do.
my
Sir.
God.
I chop them really fine, like super fine, because you're not supposed to even know that they're there. But
Yeah.
my mom, I wonder where my mom got that recipe, because, it's very Americanized. People use these types of things in their stuff, in the neck too, so we use the meat off the neck. Seriously, we do. You're right, Snooky. Yes, we do. And yum, it is. I don't
Yes.
tell nobody. It's in there.
Ish.
It's the best.
Okay. Well, moving on with the show. I'm grossed out. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was zombies. Zombies. It's funny because I was looking up zombies and stuff like that, and it's like there's so many different stories behind the zombies. Okay, let's see now. Let me find that one, which I thought was incredible. It says, actually, they said that Hollywood started the zombies. I don't know. The idea of zombies first appeared in 1932 movie, The White Zombie, that featured Bela Lugosi as the master of the undead, and continued as a popular genre of monster movies until Romero's 1968 movie reinvented the idea of monsters. So I don't think so. If I remember correctly, zombies has been around for a lot longer than 1932. Now, I started looking, but then I didn't look up the full thing about it. But I mean, take a look at the zombies. You got zombies that some Haitian groups actually think that they are, that spirits jump into them. Okay.
Right.
And then they can make them work on the farm. They can make them useful. So they're not totally, but if zombies are supposed to be the dead coming back to life, there wouldn't be any brains. So how could they actually do things such as work or think? It's like in the TV show that's on every Sunday. What is it called again? Oh my God, here goes my mind. Come on, name the with Rick Grimes and everything. Come on, somebody help me out there. Let's see if somebody's actually going to help me out. The Walking Dead. Yes, thank you very much, writer. So the Walking Dead. The last episode that I ever seen was the episode after Rick Grimes was supposed to have died, which we all know he didn't die. He was taken away by a helicopter, and he'll be back later on in a different show.
They killed him off. I stopped watching the show for the same reason.
He blew up, and then he was found by the garbage lady and was still alive, and she called down a helicopter that was coming to pick her up because she had certain blood or something like that, and so they came and took him away to keep him alive.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I know. I thought he was dead too.
I totally stopped watching it because of that.
Oh, keep watching it, Let's say they had a great hit in 1968 with Time of the Season. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's funny.
So yeah, there we go. Now, Jamie is saying that zombie literature dates back to as far as 1697. Yeah, so to say that they invented it in 1932 is kind of stupid and busted. But here's the thing. I mean, of course, now you got it on the Walking Dead. They're out there to eat people. So if they're dead and they're out there to eat people, one of the things that I can't remember his name. Oh my God, this is bull. Had said that the zombies were actually following after some people. They're trying to distract them, and they turn and get back on the road and going after Carol and those guys. And he was like amazed by that they actually are either they're updating or whatever you want to call it, to be able to, go after a certain thing and not be sidetracked like me on this show. Every time I start talking about something, I'll zoom off to something else. But it's just amazing, all the different things out there for zombies. Now, if you take a look at let me find it here. If everybody remembers the movie, The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Movie.
That was unfriggin' believable. The Serpent and the Rainbow, a Harvard scientist, astonishing journey into the secret societies of Haitian voodoo, zombies and magic, is a 1985 book by a researcher, Wade Davis. He investigated the Haitian voodoo and process of making zombies in the book. Davis does not suggest that the zombie power containing, but then it didn't say what they were really containing, but the zombie powder, I believe that it is real because there is a lot of, nowadays even, there's a lot of different tribes that are out there in the rainforest, especially the cannibals. They use it and they blow it into somebody's face. It gets in through your eyes, through your pores and stuff. They're not supposed to touch it, and it'll knock you out. But it'll knock you out, but you're still seeing what's going on. You don't feel the pain. so they could lop off your leg and you're not going to feel it.
Well,
Or they could,
that's the thing about the show business part of a zombie nowadays. You know, back then zombies they had nothing to do with eating people. That's what I know of. You know, when
Right.
even for a zombie like. So yeah, that's interesting. That is super interesting. So I wonder
Yeah.
if zombies
So,
are just. Go ahead, Jerry.
oh, no. Go ahead, honey. Oh,
Well-
wait a minute. Oh, go ahead. Nope.
Well,
That was on
what's-
purpose.
what
Sorry.
makes it funny is that, the government to this day, like that soap or what was that stuff that people were eating, and they were saying that even them, they were eating some kind of a soap or some kind of a something now. I'm talking about today, nowadays. And what was it, like Epsom salt or something like that? And they would get high off of it. What were you calling it, Jerry?
Oh, they were snorting that.
Yeah,
It wasn't a Malacca, I think it's called.
Malacca flake or
Malacca,
something flake.
something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. And these
Yeah.
people were literally going into zombie state, and they were literally, like you even said, that there was even an article where somebody was literally eating somebody
Yeah, it
because
was
they
in
were so
Florida.
high off that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the police shot him twice, and he still didn't go down. And after the third shot to the head, that took him down. Now, here was kind of catch up on what people are saying. Let's see. There's Dave. They had a great hit. Oh, okay, we already said that. According to the Bible, Jesus was dead and came back to life 3 days later. Zombie,
Right.
you know?
Interesting.
What's that?
That's interesting because that's
Yeah.
true.
And then there's-
in the Bible.
Right, and then paranormal writers saying to Dave, a miracle rather than a zombie. I think Romans didn't know about the zombie powder. What's the difference? Tide Pods had a negative effect like that when people would consume them. And Jamie knows because I know that Kimberly has warned Jamie many times to back off the Tide Pods during an investigation. She's always clean-minded at that time, but yeah. But no, it's weird. The whole concept of zombies. Even Jeffrey Dahmer tried to make his own type of zombie. And he actually used, because he wanted to make them into sex slaves. So he actually drilled holes into one of his victims' head and used different types of cleaners with different chemicals to try to make his...
know that.
You didn't know that? You never read the
No.
book on him?
I never read the book. I thought, wasn't he just naturally eating them? Didn't
He was-
just eat? Was he eating them?
He was eating them, and he was saving some for later. He was keeping their heads.
That's nuts.
But his big thing was to make them into sex slaves.
Wow.
So yeah, he was really strange. I
Yeah.
bought a book a while back, and it was actually called "Everything You Never Really Wanted to Know About Serial Killers, But You Still Gotta Know." And it was I think it was something like that, and it was an unbelievable book. When I found out later that it would be my uncle's kid was a serial killer. I think I told you about him. And he's living out in, a prison. He was in Colorado for a long time. Then he was moved over to Washington State. And for some reason, he was supposed to have been let out, and he killed 9 women.
Really?
And yeah, he never ate them, but he did kill them.
Right.
And one of the things is that he claimed that he told them where all the bodies were. So that was
Wow.
one of the things that he was going to be in for so long. But then they decided not to let him out, and he's still in. But somehow the house that his dad lives in, when his mother died, his mother mentioned him in the will that he gets the house.
Wow.
So he actually called up his father and said, I'm going to be out soon. You're going to have to get out of the house. It's mine.
Really?
And it was like, what?
Right.
you know. And then that's when they decided, no, he's never going to get out. It was a big mistake, you know. Terrible. But anyway, so zombies. So
yeah. So I want to say something about that the whole zombie thing. Now, government who test, pharmaceuticals or whatnot. There was not too long ago. I don't know if anybody knows this, but somewhere in Arizona, maybe in the desert, there was a compound that was guarded completely around with this fencing, and it was electric fence and whatnot. But somebody went over like with a drone, or they saw it through a plane or something, and they saw zombie-like people, like in medical gowns or medical. Yeah, it's true. I can't remember where it was at. I'll have to do some research on it, but apparently they saw zombie-like people. And when somebody went to go ask about these people that were locked up, because there's no, there's no, I guess, not a place. They don't even have a name of the building or anything. Yeah, the facility. I was just going to say that. And apparently they wouldn't even answer. They wouldn't answer. They told them to go away. Did you know about that, Jerry? I'm just saying.
No, I've never heard of this.
Yeah. So somewhere, look it up. Like, people were like in zombie-like state. Like they weren't even aware that this person or the helicopter was over them, and they were wondering what was going on. Was the government doing this? Was it pharmaceuticals that were doing testing on human people? Who's to say? It sounds like one of those crazy movies, like Day of the Dead or something, and it was some type of facility. So I don't know if anybody knows about that. Does anybody know about that? I'm just wondering. But I did see something like that these people were trying to find out. I think it's the same thing like Area 51 or something like that. It was kind of the same. I can't even say. But yeah, these people were in zombie-like state that were inside the facility. And, it had like a opening in the middle, and then it was a building around them where nobody can come in or out without some type of security. So, yes.
Really? And this is down in Arizona?
Somewhere in Arizona or desert, like down south desert area. So, yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, dig in more to it, because next week, guys, is going to be our last show of 2019. And 2020 will be back. So Christmas night, not Christmas Eve night, but Christmas night, our show starts on that. We'll be playing just a past show. So we got to talk about that. We got to know which show. And then on New Year's Day, we were supposed to be on, but we're actually going to be giving that to Geeks Paranormal is going to do a 2-hour show.
Nice.
So they're going to take one of our time. Yeah. The girls, they deserve it, kind of.
They're on there, Jerry. They're watching you. They're listening to you, Jerry.
No, but no, they're awesome ladies. But no, it's going to be very interesting. I don't know what the show is, so now, geeks, you're listening to me. Hopefully, you're not just running around. Can't get the wine bottle open. If you could let me know, let all of us know what the
2 hours.
Yeah, what the 2 hours is going to be, because I'm very curious myself. So again, Christmas night will just be a replay, and then on New Year's Day, Geeks has taken over the show to make a 2-hour show, and so it'll be fun. But next week, we're just going to be talking about the last year of what our favorite shows are, even though we were on hiatus for 3 months. We'll even put some of the hey, Travis Allstott's in the cows. Yay, Travis! And we'll kind of play some of our favorite stuff, like Paracon, when we were at Paracon doing some of the the mobile things and stuff like that. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Yay!
It will be.
Yeah, so that'll be all right. And then maybe, hopefully Alan will be on at that time. A little turd ball. I'm sure he will. Oh, my God, Travis loves me. Jerry, you handsome God, you. Larry, you're a goofball, my friend, but we love you. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So okay, so there's so zombies. We kind of killed on that a little bit, roughly. Yeah, funny. But I have just never heard of any place in in Arizona that had anything like that.
Well,
is there any place?
I don't know if it's truly Arizona, but like desert-like area that had this facility that was locked down, and no one can really get into it. And when I don't know if it was a news or somebody just asking about it, they were telling them they'd never answered or something like that. But you could see, they said they could see inside the facility that there was zombie-like people walking around, like not even being aware that they were up, on a helicopter or on a drone or something. They weren't even responding. They were just moving around like zombie-like state. So that to me was bizarre. I mean, is this like a pharmaceutical testing on human people? And you know what I mean, Jerry?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that past this government. I'm sorry. They. I just don't trust it whatsoever. So I could see them doing something like that. That's just nasty. That's just nasty. But yeah, when it comes to the zombie type thing, it's hard to believe some of the stories you hear and stuff. But when it comes to, like, again, the show, the rainbow, the Serpent and the Rainbow. If nobody's seen it, hopefully you'll go out and rent it, find it somewhere.
Yes.
I think it's on what is it, Voodoo? The VUDO or DU. I have it. I'm just going to see what it is. Yeah, VUDU. It's definitely on there, and I do believe it's free. Skinwalker Ranch. That's something we should do a show about too. And rabies. Rabies is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that's bizarre. They just like that. They say that the government does all these crazy things, but I really felt that was bizarre about that whole facility and everything. So yeah, I'll do some research on it. So, but yeah, I heard about that, and I just think it's really weird. So
try to find out, more about it and stuff like that. That'd be great.
I will.
And we can kind of talk about that next week for sure a little bit. So right now we're going to go on break, guys. So we'll be back in about 2-3 minutes at the most. Thank you.
This is Matt Moneymaker.
And this is Hoyt Velarde.
And you are listening to The Calling on ParaX.com.
Geek ladies Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on ParaX. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed.
I am horror author James Hershey Jr. from the Staring Into the Abyss radio show. Check out the book that started it all. What critics called the scariest book of the year. I am Legion. And if you're still breathing, check out the other 2 books in the series. The Surrogate of Souls and The Rise of the Revenant. These books will scare the hell out of you. That I promise.
All All right, we are back. This is The Calling with Kimberly Juarez of Cat Paranormal and myself, Jerry Ayers from Supernatural Investigators of Minnesota. Now, if you have missed any of our shows and you're like, I really want to hear the one with Paranormal Writer and the UFO thing, guess what? We got it. So you can actually go to our website, www.thecallingradioshow.com, and you can take a look and you can listen to him. He was fantastic.
Yeah,
And
need another show with him.
what's that?
We need another show with him. That was a good show, Jerry.
It was a very good show. I really enjoyed it. So you can go there, and also, too, if you're interested in being on the show, just click the email, and you can email us directly or let us know of something that you would like to have us discuss, which some of you already have, so that's pretty cool, and I really appreciate it. Like Steve B. actually wants to know more about remote viewers, and I have Valentina Lomborg coming on, so it'll be a good time. So, take a look at that. And remember, every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's the Ladies of the Gathering. And Stephanie and Kim come on to the metaphysical table, and they chat up stuff. And last night was all about exorcism salad. Gross. Anyway.
You mean Heidi. Stephanie
well, Heidi did. That's right. Yeah, what did I say?
Kim.
Kim. Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Where did that come from?
I know.
Wow, that was weird. Yeah, not Kim. No, not Kim. No, Stephanie and Heidi. So, I know. Here, Dave caught it right away. Dave's like, LOL, Kim?
Yeah, he did. That was funny, Jerry.
That's funny. Okay. Well, there you go. So, and what do you got for us?
Me? No, I was just looking at this. I just want to mention this before I even start talking paranormal, but it said that Jamie from Cat said, I tried looking up on YouTube for any videos, and we're talking about zombies, and they've been all removed. And it says, Paranormal Writer said, me too, Googled it, was not helpful. There was a website that talked about pharmaceutical companies making zombies with drug testing, but the website got taken down. Go figure. So see, maybe I was right.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Paranormal Writer says, seems like zombies make good TV fiction, but I've had a hard time with decomposed muscle tissue still working like normal or having any strength. Exactly, that's what I'm saying about them being able to track a person. Like they see somebody or something, and their brain tells them to go after it. You know, and it's like, and if they have a thirst for anything alive to eat, where would that thirst come from? I mean, all that stuff would have to come from the brain. So when I was younger and my teacher said, "You're brain dead," I think that pretty much was a slam to me.
Right. Right.
What do you mean, right?
No, just never mind. Anyways,
we're now looking for a new co-host.
I know, right? Co-host.
So
Jerry, I can't remember, in the movie, is he dead and then they bring him back to life? Or was he...
Which movie?
In the movie in Serpent in the Rainbow. I can't remember that.
He was alive, and they took him, and if I remember correctly, they took some guy, and they gosh, no, I can't remember.
I thought he was already in the grave, and they put that on him.
That's what it was. No. They blew it on him ahead of time, which then totally out of it, and then they put him into the grave. He knew he was going in, the anxiety and everything else is going, and so they stuck him in there, and they just left him in there, and he was dug out by somebody. I can't remember who the guy was. I think it was just a friend of his or something like that.
Right.
If I'm, sure. I'm going to have to rewatch that again, but only by the day. I don't watch scary movies at night. I know I'm a pussy. I know.
What?
A pussy. I can't stand scary movies. I just can't. And what's funny is that what show was it I was watching, and it said heavy suspenseful. And I was watching it, and it was a slamming of their fist on a table, and holy God, I was up. Okay, the zombie drug against the blowfish toxin.
Toxin, yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Big time. Well, there was other ways to make it, too. So, yeah, because there was that, and then there was something. He's a great director. There's something to do with 100-year-old bones, a full moon, some type of a ritual and stuff like that to ground up the bones. It was just crazy, just nuts.
I think Hollywood probably did blow it all up and put craziness, to eat people to make it more even scarier. It's scary as it is knowing that somebody's coming back to life, but it made, the Hollywood bumped it up to make it more scarier when they're eating somebody, so I don't know.
Right. I like this, what Dave says. They did a scientific analogy of what would happen if zombies actually came to life. The smell of rotting flesh would attract insects and other natural predators who would consume them long before they could become a threat. Agreed. Right. Agreed. Ghost Adventures is basically a horror show. It's a funny show. It's not serious. Trust me. Yeah, that's really good, Dave. Good job. Wow. Yeah, and hilarious. So, okay. So now, out of cases that you've had and stuff like that, what's one thing that's just been the most bizarrest thing that you've ever come across in all your cases?
In all my cases?
Yep.
The bizarrest thing is when you get validation of what you tell your client. Like I use a little bit of my empath when I investigate places, and I love the validation that you get when it comes to paranormal, especially when you're using your senses and stuff like that. And I don't know, it may be off, but I like that. I like the whole validation thing, other than doing the whole paranormal, doing an investigation. I just love the validation of things when you're doing them, So,
right. But what I meant was, what is something that you found or something that you came across that was just totally bizarre? Not your normal type thing that people talk about or say that they found or anything like that.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are kind of bizarre, especially when you get things that, you hear doors open and shut, or especially when they respond. The whole the intelligent paranormal. I love it when they can respond to you and they can try to talk to you. And I just think it's bizarre, that they can hear. Oh, well, I don't think it's bizarre. I just think that it's kind of cool, that they can do that,
Right. I'll be darned. I mean, we've been doing it since for me, it's the black cloud. The black cloud. What is that? Not a bean. It must be talking about something cloud that pulls you in. Wow. Huh. Well, ours of what we did was I'm going to go back to it. The Pukwudgie.
Oh yeah.
That was something I never would have thought about. I never knew about. I didn't know nothing about it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And after we did our research on it and talked with a tribe down in Wisconsin by Hager City, and they told us about the Pukwudgie and where the Pukwudgie first started out at and stuff like that, it was just amazing.
Well, the Pukwudgie, that's Native Americans, they totally believe in what is it? Like a little person, right? The Pukwudgie.
Yeah. Yep.
And some of them are nice and some of them are not too nice. And that's just like in Ireland. Ireland has those little creatures there's fairies, there's
leprechauns.
Trolls, leprechauns, and people believe in these. And these are like in different places or in different international places, I believe the whole Pukwudgie thing, I think we caught one on camera because I really do. One of these days, Jerry, I'll have to try to get the picture or try to get the film and try to show it. But I really believe we caught something, and my daughter caught it because we kept feeling something following us through these woods where Native Americans used to live in, until after the whole thing, back in time, when the Native Americans had most of this land, and they totally believed in the Pukwudgies, and the little people, So yeah. So how did you now, Jerry? When you guys discovered that you were, what happened that you said, "Oh my God, that must be a Pukwudgie"? What I mean? What did you guys? Go ahead.
What happened is that there was a guy that that called us on up, and he had a strange case going on, and he told us that his daughter was seeing something in the basement, and she called it a little monkey man, and it kept running around in circles around her and stuff. And then they started noticing things were being thrown to the floor and stuff like that, So we went there on the case, and we did a walkthrough, and we were like, wow, this is really bizarre. We never heard of anything like that. And I thought, I said, well, tell me, how did this all start? And then he finally confessed in front of his wife that he was deer hunting with his friends. Mm-hmm. There was 5 of them. And they went out and they went to this land that they weren't supposed to be on, and it was a native burial site. And it even had no trespassing and stuff. And there was this big, beautiful buck, and he shot it. Mm-hmm. And they were drunk. They had been drinking. Well, he was drunk. A couple of them weren't that drunk, but they still went along with it. So he shot this deer, and immediately when the deer went down, a huge ball of light, like the size of a softball, came out of this deer's neck and went directly into his. They all seen it, even the one guy that wasn't drinking or anything, seen it go into his neck, and he just went down, and his lips started turning blue and everything, so they called for an ambulance, and they actually had to airlift him out, and I can't remember where he said he went to and stuff. And at that time when it happened, his daughter, that's when whatever it was there at his house running around his daughter. His daughter's 6 years old. She was such a cute little thing, and that's when he knew that there was a problem. Then things started really going on, and his wife was like, most of his things that he had in the basement that were he had stuffed animals. He had stuff. He was a poacher, and he was taking this stuff around that area. And so it was just not a good thing whatsoever. So he ended up calling us in to see what we can do. And since I didn't know what it was, so like I said, I went down to, as a matter of fact, my friend Dave there in AIM, said, had told me about going to talk to some locals, natives, and see what they say. So when I was talking to them about it and roughly where it was that he shot it, they said, it's Pukwudgie. That sounds like a Pukwudgie. And I'm like, what's a Pukwudgie? And they said they're from 3 to 5 feet tall. They have large noses, large features, very large feet with claws, and hands with claws, and their teeth are jagged and cut. And they used to be actually nice and very helpful until another native group decided that they were going to use them as slaves. And when the Pukwudgie then decided to go against them, the natives then took them and killed most of them off and scattered some out. And the ones that were still scattered regrouped again and came back and actually killed the chief.
Oh, wow.
And, they killed the chief. And so they started coming back. Now, this was all out east. And then they started working their way around. And in Wisconsin, there's actually been a lot of sightings. There's a YouTube video out there that if you watch the whole 10 minutes of it, you got to remember you're never going to get that 10 minutes back again. Right. Because it was so boring and so stupidly done. I would be just embarrassed if I was those people for making that video, because it really had nothing to do with that. It was just mostly a young girl that wanted to get her squeaky voice going. But anyway, so when we did this investigation, it was very strange. We had half the team was outside, the other half was inside. Mm-hmm. The people that were outside, all of a sudden, underneath the vehicle, they started hearing pounding. Just pounding, and it was incredible noise that was out there. Now, the guys that were inside, one investigator was upstairs and in the little girl's bedroom, and the guy that owned a house wanted to be in on it, so he was in his bedroom. And I'm not going to say who the investigators are because some are not with us no more. And then two investigators were downstairs. One was a newbie. And all of a sudden they could smell hot dogs cooking. And so they checked it out, and they went into the kitchen. There was nothing cooking. And then the two investigators, or the one investigator and the homeowner, asked if we were making hot dogs because they could smell it upstairs. And then through an EVP session, you could hear like something, you know how you'd take a newspaper, and if you had it open and you would just shake it very, that sound that it makes and stuff, and then start ripping it into little pieces. That sound was extremely loud and was caught on audio, and everybody could hear it. It was like anger, Really? It was, there was anger, but yet nothing was found around there. But a lot of the stuffed animals downstairs were moved to different areas. And so one of the things that they told us is that anything that was taken with not any permission or anything that was shot on the burial site was to be returned to where it was. So he actually did take the deer, and he took other things and went back to where he remembered that he shot and killed them at, and he buried them. And he left tobacco to ask for forgiveness. And they did a spirit plate, and we smudged that place so much. We kept going over there for about 3 weekends, and then we gave them everything they needed so that they did it too. And we were told that the Pukwudgies would never go away. But he kept to his bargain of he never hunted after that. He did go fishing, but he never took anything that, too many or nothing like that. And they did spirit plates for like 6 months to a year, and everything, and it actually worked.
Yeah, because I heard that little people are protectors of land. They're the protectors. Some of them are, and that you cross them, you will get rid of them. Period. I mean, you'd have to do something like that to be able to, you have to make amends with them if you did something wrong.
Exactly. Well, like Travis, when him and Jen, we went out to Santee, Nebraska, and we. We had did a radio show from there, and they had, we were talking to people about the little people. They didn't know what Pukwudgie meant. They knew what Bigfoot was, but it was not called Gitchisabi with them. And but they did, different types. Yeah, because they did see. They have seen Bigfoot, and the little people, they showed us where the little people lived. But as soon as they pointed to that area or to this house, they would turn around and not face it anymore. They wanted nothing to do with it. There's certain roads they don't go on because that is the little people. And they were terrified of that.
Mm-hmm.
That whole scenario of that. Let's read some of the stuff here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat room.
So Steve asked, can a Connect pick up Pukwudgie?
I'm going to try it, Steve, because I know like I said, we caught one on film, so I bet you we probably could, because we've done a Connect's camera out in the woods, and it does work. So we've got some pretty interesting things where a spirit was literally sitting next to my husband, next to a chair, and we even told him, he even disappeared at one point and then came back. We thought it was coming off the chair itself, but no, it literally got up, stood up, and everything. So it wasn't the chair, because you're trying to debunk anything and everything. There has to be some kind of explanation. That's the way we work, So I'm going to try that. Let's see what happens. We should literally try that. Now I'm excited. I'm getting pumped here.
Don't you think you should just leave that be?
What do you mean, what?
Leave the Pukwudgie alone?
No, not to look like to be. I'm not trying to be but maybe you could. Maybe we could see it better or something like that. I don't think it would. I'm not crossing him. I'm not taking from the land or anything. You know what I mean?
No, but the way I look at it is, when it comes to some spirits that are guardians,
right,
it's best to leave them alone, because it's like, they're the guardian. They're ones that you shouldn't be messing with. You shouldn't be try to get them to do things and stuff like that. I mean, that's up to you. It's your team.
I don't really ask them to, I don't sit there and ask them to be there or anything like that. It was just one day we were everybody goes up there, Jerry. We walk the trails, and it feels like you're being followed in these trails. It's in different places, and I'm sure like people have walked the woods. Don't you ever feel like you are being followed in somewhat? You know what I mean? So It's not like if I'm literally asking, deliberately asking. I'm just wondering if it could be possible. I'm not asking it to come, or bothering it. I don't think, especially to me, I feel like you're special when you see certain things that you're only allowed to see. It's not every time, that only you're going to get that.
But only allowed to see, but to go back and to bother.
Well, true.
I just, that's something. As a matter of fact, there was a guy one time over at the American Indian Center, and when I was telling him what I do, and that's when I got that EVP of what some there at the American Indian Center said was, they thought it was Ojibwe, and it was actually Dakota language of a girl singing. And the first, everybody left except for the one guy. But there was an older fella out there that told me, he said, don't mess with that. Leave them alone. Why would you want to mess with that, trying to find that girl? Let her alone. And it's like, if there is stuff, like Pukwudgie and stuff like that, I could see what they can do. Lakota, that's right. Thank you, Travis. It would be best to, I don't know. That's up to you. That's up to you. Now
you're making it sound like if I'm I'm not doing nothing bad.
No. I didn't mean anything like that. Nothing like that. I just asked, don't you think it's best to leave them alone? That's all.
I haven't really bothered them, to be truthful. So, So.
Okay, no, I didn't know. She's mad at me. Now she's definitely mad at me because she's not laughing along with me. Sorry, Kimmy.
No, I was using the Connects. Maybe, I don't know. I just think that maybe we could. Who knows? Anyway, it's almost time to go.
Yeah.
That went by fast.
She's mad. Also, too, let's see now. They're a really good Twilight Zone episode. I think I still remember scaring the caca out of me. Caca? Do people really say caca?
Who said that? That's hilarious.
paranormal writer. Yes, and I think that Jamie's talking about when she says paranormal writer. I Googled it. Definitely something. I think she's talking about the caca. Let's see now. Is there any more questions? Was it fear of the unknown of air travel, or was it real? Oh, okay. It's talking to those guys. Jerry, have you ever used my spray to keep pukwudgies away? That pukwudgie case that we had was way before the spray. That was a long time ago. That was before the Northern Sim. So it was quite a while. Yeah, we did get a lot of evidence. The Connect is very interesting. We do have one on the Supernatural Investigators of Minnesota Facebook using the Connect of something at Walcott crawling across the ceiling and then down. That is amazing.
And they say there's things up on the ceiling out there, Jerry. So yeah.
Oh heck yeah. Mm-hmm. We've definitely seen them. There is stuff out there. Mm-hmm. I would like to be in an investigation that uses it. I use a full spectrum camera, so it would be great to see the comparison. Oh yeah, high traffic area. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Type caca here. Paranormal writer, you're the bomb, dude. Okay. Wow. Well, that was a good one. That was a pretty good show. A whole hour went past already.
I know. It goes by so fast when you're trying to talk about a subject and stuff like that. So it kind of goes by fast because it's like, oh yeah, see, 2 minutes, 3 minutes now. I can't get over how fast we go. So anyway.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, again, next week, guys, we are just going to be talking about our stop being the sexiest paranormal hoist. I think you meant host. Thank you very much, sir. We are sexy people, Kimberly. Okay, so...
I think it's talking about you, Jerry.
Well, yeah, but, we got to throw both of us in there. I just can't take credit for it. It takes another person to do a show. So, anyhow, we'll see you all next week. And, again, it's going to be our last show. And stay tuned tonight for for Geeks Paranormal. And... what's that?
Good night, everyone. Good night, military. Good night. Don't forget the military guys.
Oh, yeah, the military guys. And thank you, Para X and Sarge. Thank you so for being like the greatest producer there is. So thank you all, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.